Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. And if you're wondering, I'm using Oracle cards to get our topics for the day just because there's so many things that we could talk about, and it's a lot to come up with a topic every day for a video. So I just do like random things and see what wisdom we can pull. So today we have all that glitters. You know, and this card is about what really has value, what we place our value on. And I'll hold it up there. Just a big pile of gold. And I think sometimes we become a little bit disillusioned about what really does hold value. And we tend to chase the things that glitter, and they're not all gold. Um, and we talked last week about, our why behind doing things. And I got to say, money is a tool, and it has its place. It has value because it gives us stability and it solves problems. It creates opportunities. So I'm not dismissing the value of money as a resource. However, we also talked about how so many of the people that I've known in my life who are wealthy, they don't glitter. They don't try to glitter. Sometimes the thing that has the most value doesn't sparkle. And we place our value on the wrong things based on that, or we try to increase our perceived value in the world by making ourselves glittery. So many people, and this, it's sad, and it's driven by media and the desire to have a certain image projected into the world. And this wasn't even a thing before we were so connected with social media and things of that nature, where there was just constant comparison. You pull up your Facebook or whatever's cool now. You pull that up and you see everybody's highlight reel, and you don't see the behind the scenes day-to-day stuff. But we're so big on projecting something with no substance. It's a facade. We talked about that. And how much value does a Coach purse have if there's no money in it? How much value is there in driving a Corvette if you have to live in a subpar home to do that? Or worse yet, you're parking it somewhere where they can't find it and take it back. Substance is so much better than glitter. And that's why I say, when we put value on something, is it our value, or is it the value of the people in our society, in our culture, the people around us? Is that where the value came from? Because being authentic and being true to you and self-care is about making sure that your foundation is there. Because if you don't have the income to sustain your lifestyle, there's no substance there, and you're putting yourself in a very unstable situation. When we live paycheck to paycheck because we're trying to buy all of these accessories, all that glitters, that's not fair to ourselves. I mean, who are you really trying to impress? What that usually indicates, and I'm not trying to judge, okay? I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just trying to help establish what drives this behavior, because generally it's because we don't value ourselves. We don't see the intrinsic value in who we are, and so we're trying to make it glittery so that other people see value in us where we don't. And if we place our value on material items, on possessions, that can be gone anytime, in an instant. Not because you missed your payments, but a natural disaster. Anything material outside of ourselves can be taken from us. If we have falsely placed our sense of value on the material things that we have or the image that we project, talk about a house of cards, right? If we work on our belief systems, if we work on our self-perception, and we dig into why we feel the way we do about ourselves, why we are not comfortable with who we are as we are, without the decorations, without whatever titles we've acquired, our being has value. If we ourselves are not able to perceive that, we're much more likely to get trapped into the all that glitters. Put ourselves in a precarious financial situation trying to portray value to the outside world that we don't feel we have. When you start to change what you value, it's a totally different place to live. It's hard to put into words. You're no longer worried about what glitters. You're not worried about what tag is on your jeans. All you care about is if they fit. You know, you want to be comfortable. You want to be in peace in your own skin. And, you know, it's sad to think that as a society, we have been just sucked into commercialism, materialism. Marketing is all about playing on your insecurities. So rather than going out and buying all the things to try and make you feel better about yourself, because that comes from inside, it doesn't matter what face cream you put on, what shirt you put on, what purse you're carrying, what car you're driving, what neighborhood you live in. If it's not coming from inside, it's not stable. It's not sustainable. Even if you can continue to create the income to sustain the outer facade, you're shortchanging yourself by not finding the value within and healing the wounds that have caused you to feel that way about yourself. When you are not concerned about other people's perception of you, that is a freedom that money can't buy. That is a peace within you that is so incredibly, it's just like a relief, like a weight off. You're not worried about what your hair looks like when you go to get your mail. You know, you have bigger things happening in your life to know that, one, I don't have to present myself in a certain way to be of value. Uh, I bring value from who I am and the knowledge I have and the things that I've overcome, the life experience I've gained, the contributions I've made to my community and the people around me. And it's putting your investment into those areas that will really give you value, sustainable value that cannot be taken from you because it's intrinsic. It's in here. It's experience. It's wisdom. It's knowledge and ability. Having that to fall back on, and not to mention, if you are in a position where all of a sudden the material things are taken from you, you're in a place where you believe in your ability to rebuild. You're not just floating around in this sea of lost identity. And I went through that. I went through that early on. I had very much, I have talked a couple times on the channel about being a police officer and how much it meant to me. That was like something I really wanted to accomplish that. That was a big thing for me. And I had different reasons for wanting to do that. But I had become so enmeshed in my job title as my sense of value. I had tied my identity to my profession. I didn't recognize this. I didn't know this at the time. I was in my 20s. You know, I thought it was cool to be a cop, and I was proud of my accomplishment. And then because it was so demanding, as far as I was a parent, I had a child in school, I wasn't able to spend the time with him that I needed to or felt was prudent as a parent. Um, and I left the law enforcement. It completely shook me for a couple years. It was, you know, I didn't understand that I was drawing so much of my value and self-worth from my profession. And until I no longer had that title, and then I was like, who am I? And I mean, it was just like, it was really, I went through the 7 stages of grief over the loss of my identity. And so that was when I started looking at, like, wait, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea I had tied who I was and how much I was worth to my job. And that once I left that job, that I would have such a devastating loss of identity and feeling of, just not knowing who I was and having no sense of direction. It was crazy. It was very eye-opening for me, though, and that's when I started working on, who am I? Where do I find value? And I started doing different things to build my experiences, my knowledge, my wisdom, my intrinsic things that could not be taken from me, to not be tied to something outside of me, and growing in the community and contribution, and finding ways that truly held value, not only for me but for the people around me, that were mine. They couldn't be taken. And so the all that glitters is just a reminder of, to be careful where we place value. What truly holds value? What is really worth something in our lives? Like the people. Do you really want to spend all your waking hours at work so you can pay for the things, the sparkly things to impress people, and then not have the time or energy to sustain relationships, to have people around you to be impressed with it? There are trade-offs in everything that we do, and we have to determine, what does success look like to you? Because it may look like a cover of a Forbes magazine for some people. What do you truly value? Is it your relationships? Is it your freedom? Is it being able to travel? What really holds value for you? And invest in that, no matter what the people around you believe holds value. If all your friends have a Mercedes and you have a Honda, that's okay. That doesn't make you less than. It just means you have a different car. You are not your car. You are not your shirt. Hell, this isn't even my shirt. And it's that thing that we get so attached to our image and how we're perceived by the world. And it's like, how am I perceived by myself? Like, how do I perceive me? What really does hold value for me? Like, find out who you really are. And I think what you'll discover is that a lot of the things that truly hold value in your life, they don't glitter, but they're fucking amazing. And so, just a new perspective on value, and also what creates value within you. It's not from the stuff around you. It's what comes from inside you. And you'll find that the more you build what's inside you, the more glittery shit's going to show up for you anyway. You don't have to chase it anymore. It just shows up for you. It's amazing. Law of attraction. Also, the law of compensation. Physics, universal laws. Love them. Learning to work with the energy. Because the more we build, feed, and care for ourselves, the more we glow and radiate and draw things to us. So I hope this helps. And like I said, I use the cards to get topics. And other than like here and there, I'll do a more in-depth video on something. If there's a topic you want to cover, or something that I've touched on that you'd like to go deeper into, just drop it in the comment box below. And I would be more than happy to do another series, another in-depth deep dive video, anything that is helpful. Because what I really want to do is just these little short videos kind of plant the seed. They plant the seed, and then we'll touch on it again here and there, or another topic will be close to. So it's building. But again, if there is something specific, please let me know. I want to give you content that helps, things that help you to make changes, to make the positive changes so that your life continues to improve and you start to see new options, new opportunities, new beauty. Change your perspective, change your reality. Find that contentment in life. We all need less of this freaking chaos, right? So, anyway, I hope that helps, and I will talk to you soon.